If we look at this WSI branded box, we see the Sword Models logo on the back. And that's because this is a re-release of a model that first came out in 2009. It consists of a Peterbilt 4-axle 379 day cab tractor, and it's paired up with a 3-axle Rogers trailer. It is a limited edition and it's in the colours of Bay Crane, the US crane hire company which is based in New York. The packaging is factory sealed, and after opening it up we can get the parts out. And that includes a number of bags of parts, but there are no instructions with this model. Just a reminder that you can see all of the reviews made by Cranes Etc. over on the Cranes Etc. website. Over 1,000 models have been reviewed and each one's got its own report. Also, if you'd like to support Cranes Etc. going forwards, then head over to the Cranes Etc. Patreon page, where you can sign up to support our work and get some rewards too. To begin the assembly, there are plenty of air horns in 2 different types, so we can choose what configuration we want, and we'll go for 2 round ones and 2 square ones. These are easy to fit and they just press into holes in the cab roof. It's always nice to adjust your makeup, so we need mirrors for that, and they just press into the cab doors. And one thing to note is these mirrors are metal, so you need to be just a little bit careful how you handle them. Moving on to the trailer, and we start by pressing the gooseneck into the trailer deck, and it's a clip fit. Once that's done, we can then connect the trailer to the Peterbilt, and the connection's a little bit different because the 5th wheel on the Peterbilt has a little spring clip, and you need to use that to lock the trailer kingpin into place. After that, we've got some cosmetic work to do because the model is very detailed. So we start by connecting the hoses from the deck into the gooseneck, and if you want to go the whole way, you can also press the coiled lines from the Peterbilt tractor into the gooseneck as well. Lastly, we'll add a couple of oversized load signs, and one presses in at the front of the Peterbilt, and the other presses in on the back of the lowboy. Starting on the Peterbilt, the chassis is very detailed, although the tyres are the same on every axle. At the front, the mesh radiator looks really great, and there are tiny Peterbilt logos. The chrome work around the cab is particularly impressive, and there are plenty of pleasing details such as nice flexible mud flaps, and the chains hanging on the rack behind the cab. So the Peterbilt is highly detailed, and so is the trailer. And underneath the trailer there are hoses running full length. There is some exceptional detail on the gooseneck with many small graphics. And the structure of the deck is good, and it has replica timber surfacing. The nice detailing continues at the back where there are more flexible mud flaps. It's onto the features as we head out onto the Cranes Etc. superhighway. And here we find that the Peterbilt rolls along well. The front axle has steering, although it's notched rather than variable, and it has just one setting, but at least it provides an interesting pose. Sticking with the axles, we can remove a cover from behind the cab, and that gives us access to a couple of clips. These are used to clip up axle 2, so we can raise it out of service. And to help the task, we're using the black plastic pointer that's included with the model. So here we see the axle raised, and it won't wear out the tyres when we're motoring around in the display case. Another nice feature is the positive locking clip on the 5th wheel, and it's a satisfying bit of model engineering. To get to the engine, the hood pulls forward, and there you can see the engine nicely detailed and made of many parts. So we're on a roll with features on this truck, and there's more to come with opening doors on the cab. The fit of the doors is very good, so you need the pointer to get them open, and they open to a decent angle. That also lets you get a look at the detail inside. Now let's take a look at some of the features of the trailer, and each of the axles has nice independent suspension. The wheels all roll nicely enough, and there's another feature which is on the third and last axle, and that is that it clips up out of service. It's a similar system to that on the Peterbilt, and once you've got it clipped up, the rear axle no longer touches the ground. And it's good to see a decent amount of clearance. Another feature is the ability to widen the deck, and the first thing you need is the patience to move out all of the supports, and then you can place the extension piece on them. It is quite a tight fit on the supports and probably would have been a bit better if it had been slightly narrower. Another nice feature is that you can display the trailer being loaded, and to facilitate that, there are nice little fold-down ramps. Of course, this is a limited edition model in the colours of bay crane, so what could be better than to rock up with a bay crane alongside it? And then we'll make our lowboy useful by carrying the counterweight tray and some counterweights from the crane. Castings for this model were first released back in 2009 by Sword Models, and it's good to see a re-release because it still holds its own against more recent models. Both the details and features are excellent and it looks great in bay crane colours, so overall the model deserves to be rated as excellent.